Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans, and we are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. We are going to talk about a few fun, different topics. We got the All-Star game next weekend. We're going to honor our Chicago Cub All-Stars. We're going to preview the Minnesota Twins. We're set for 3 in Minnesota starting tonight. And we're going to talk about Michael Busch and his big weekend. And also, it's getting to the point where just a little above 90 games, we're going to start seeing a little bit some comparisons to the 2016 Chicago Cubs team. We're going to discuss all that and more right here on this edition. So let's not waste any time, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get right into it. So, I believe it was entering into Friday's game against the Cardinals. This specific Chicago Cubs team had the exact same record as the 2016 team. I alluded to it in the previous video. And, it's been fun to think about, right? That 2016 team obviously went on to win the World Series. It's the most notable Cub team, not only in recent history, just probably Major League Baseball history. They had the best record pretty much all season long. They were super dominant. Their defense was historically great. Just a lot of fun things to think about, especially going with this Cubs team. I am not going to say that this Cubs team is on par with that team because obviously of what that team accomplished. I think also entering into 2016, there was a different level of expectation, believe it or not. This year, my expectation was to go to the playoffs, maybe make some noise in the playoffs. 2016, especially after our 2015, was to go to the World Series and win the World Series, especially when Dexter Fowler came back on the field in spring training, and you're just like, yep, the lineup's ready, we're poised to make a run, that kind of deal. So this rendition of the Cubs kind of gives me the 2015 vibe. Like, we're not completely polished, we're not solid around the edges. Also, another thing that, I've pretty much hammered my head on here, if you've been listening to Cubs Daily since the beginning, that 2016 Cubs team pitching staff was unreal to think about. Not that this pitching staff isn't good by any means. It's a great staff, don't get me wrong. But that 2016 staff was different, okay? We had prime, fresh off Cy Young, Jake Arrieta. We had John Lester, as steady as they come. We had Kyle Hendricks, who led the league in ERA that season. There's just a lot of different things that were in the factor for that Cubs team, right? We really only needed to do one thing for that team, and that was to find our closer. Hector Rondon did a very, very good job, but obviously a name like Aroldis Chapman and what he brings to the table puts that team over the top in that sense. So it's hard for me to compare this team to that team, especially for what they accomplished, but this Cubs team is a lot of fun, and I'm having a blast watching them. Speaking of blast, how about our main man, Michael Busch? He was named the MLB Player of the Week this week, and it was all basically because of 2 days, Friday and Saturday. He had a monstrous performance on Friday with 3 home runs. He went yard again on Saturday. Look at these numbers. The Player of the Week, ladies and gentlemen. 4 home runs, 565 average, slugging over 1,000 on base 60% of the time, and an absolutely obscene OPS. Michael Busch was fantastic this past week, I would say, in general, too. He's been very solid. He's gotten his batting average above 290, which is something you like to see. I know, we can get into the discussion of all-star Cubs snubs all day long, especially given that Freddie Freeman made the team and Michael Busch has better face numbers than him, but I'm very, very excited for what Michael Busch has brought to the table for this Cubs team. In the beginning, especially here on Cubs Daily, not that I need to trade everyone or do anything like that, since that's apparently a conception here, but I'm always looking to upgrade. I'm always open to, different things, like before Vlad Jr. signed his extension, I was very, I was curious, like, could we get Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? What would that entail? And so, again, but if Michael Busch wants to play like this, there's no need. We can extend him right now, give him a 5-year, $65, $75 million deal. He's probably going to be worth more than that by the end of the year, the way he has been performing recently. So kudos to Michael Busch. You have been absolutely balling, my man. And, honestly, him and Seiya were snubbed from the All-Star game. I'm really hoping that they both utilize this as fuel for the magical run of August and September, and hopefully deep into the month of October, because we can complain about the All-Star game and how the vote goes and the fan votes and all that stuff, but like you said, it's the fan votes, right? Fans are going to vote for who they know. You got to make your name in October. You got to become known there. So, got new goals for Michael Busch and Seiya Suzuki on that front. But we are going to talk about the Minnesota Twins. We got a 3-game set starting tonight in Minnesota. We got Shota Imanaga on the bump against Simeon Woods Richardson. I like this matchup for the Cubs. The Twins don't see us all too often, and Shota has been looking really solid. Actually, last start, Shota got touched up a little bit. I think he's going to have a very, very good outing against the Twins. The Twins, they are anemic offensively. They struggle immensely. They're a solid team. They're a few games below 500, but they're kind of getting to the point where, the AL Central's locked up and over. Everyone is below 500 except the Tigers. And the Twins are getting to the point where, hey, we might need to make some moves here to supplement the future, because obviously what's happening here is not working in this current moment. So, Cubs take 2 of 3 here. We get some momentum, keep rolling into that All-Star game. Either way, the Cubs should be able to take care of business, especially if, we got Shota going. We have Matt Boyd go on Sunday. We'll probably see Cade Horton, and we'll probably see the opener deal again with Drew Pomeranz and Chris Flexen, and now with recently recalled Jordan Wicks, I'm sure will be in the mix as well for those Twins. So, let's have a great series against the Twins. Again, that's going to start tonight around 7 o'clock. It's going to be hopefully a really good game. I expect the Cubs to take care of business tonight because we are the better team. Let's keep going, and the offense is starting to pick up again, right? We were super hot to start the year. We had a little bit of a cold June, believe it or not, given the weather. And now the bats are starting to roll, and this team is starting to look like its dominant self once again, which is extremely exciting for all of us here on Cubs Nation and us here at Cubs Daily. So, let's honor the All-Stars. The Cubs have 3 All-Stars going into this season. 2 of them are starting. Your center fielder and right fielder, PCA and Kyle Tucker, are going to be starting for the Chicago Cubs. And the pickup of the free agent signing of the season, right? I think this guy right here, Matt Boyd, he is going to be a reserve pitcher in the All-Star game. Absolutely great hit right there, man. Great job by Jed to get him. And obviously, Matt Boyd has been sensational for this Cubs team. So is Kyle Tucker. And PCA has been the story of the MLB season on that front. So, excited to watch these guys play in the All-Star game, but I think we all have loftier goals ahead heading into September and October. I want to get this division wrapped up by mid-December. I want to get these players rested and focused, and I want to get those bats rolling for October. And I'm curious to see what we do at the deadline here. Especially with the way the Marlins are playing, I'm not sure how many moves I'm not sure if they're going to be looking to get off their pitchers. The Diamondbacks are still quote-unquote in the wild card hunt, so I'm not sure how much they're looking to trade. It's going to be genuinely curious to see. So I don't think the Cubs are going to stand put necessarily, but the only teams that are open for business are the Pirates and the Rockies, maybe the Athletics. So it's going to be fun to keep our eye out here. Make sure you guys stay locked and loaded into Cubs Daily. We're going to be coming every day here, coming up soon for the Cubs and the trade deadline. I've been teasing a lot of different names over the past month. Now the rumors will start to amplify, and I'm curious to see who those Chicago Cubs lands. Let me know your guys' and gals' thoughts in the comments as well in the comparison to the 2016 team. I want to hear them sound off below. So if you haven't liked the video, make sure you guys like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got just over 200 of you joining into Cubs Daily. The community is growing by the day. It's super exciting to watch. And again, I appreciate everyone who has viewed the videos. Make sure you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one.